What's up, horror fans? It's Danny from the Lassercast with a review of Chucky Episode 7, Twice the Grieving, Double the Loss. This episode literally just ended. I went from the couch to my chair in front of Horror Corner over here. First off, I feel like a giant idiot. Last week, in my review, I said, could not believe who they got to play Chucky in the flashback scenes. Of course, I then found out, because I hadn't been watching the behind-the-scenes stuff that USA and SYFY had been doing after the episodes, I then found out that it's actually Fiona Dourif playing the younger version of her father. My God. Thank you to the person in the comments who sent that YouTube video in, because my mind was blown when I saw that. And Fiona Dourif is just killing it in this show, literally and figuratively. She's fantastic. This episode, written by Mallory Westfall and Isabella Gutierrez, directed by Samir Rahem, and we are very close to the end. This is the penultimate episode. There's only one episode left, and I really cannot wait to see how this show wraps up. Basically, what we have is Chucky is killing off the main character's parents. Jake's dad died way back in episode 1. Devin's mom died last episode, as did Junior's mom. Yes, Lexa Doig. She was pushed out of a window. They think that she committed suicide. So the question is, why is Chucky really isn't killing many people, but he's trying to convince every character to kill. First, he was trying to convince Jake to kill. Then he's moved on now to Junior. And Junior is actually probably a perfect character for Chucky to be working with and manipulating, because the whole season has been building Junior up as kind of an afterthought. He was dating Lexi, Alvia Allen Lind, who is just fantastic on this show, and she was completely dismissive of him even when they were dating. She was looking at Oliver. She was more focused on, making fun of Jake and torturing him than she was being a good girlfriend. So Junior felt like an afterthought in his own relationship. He felt like an afterthought to his father, played by Devon Sawa, because Devon Sawa basically is just using him to kind of relive his glory days. So all of these characters have a lot of primary focus, and Junior, Teo Bridges, I believe the actor, he's just kind of every chance he's been pushed off. So it makes perfect sense that Chucky would use him as the manipulation to try to get him to kill. He also tried to get Caroline, Lexi's younger sister, to kill. And there's a great moment in this episode where Lexi goes, "Caroline, what did Chucky tell you to do?" And just totally deadpan, Caroline goes, "Kill mommy and daddy and you." And it was very good. At the wake, Lexa Doig's wake, Junior's mom's wake, Tiffany shows up in her big red, car and plants a kiss on Devon Sawa, which obviously they are just, again, the manipulation of Junior is in full force here. And Jennifer Tilly is just chewing scenery the way that you chew gum. It's so over the top. She then goes to visit Junior to drop off food for Devon Sawa, and she has this unbelievable line that made me legit LOL, where she says, he goes, "I recognize you." And she goes, "Aren't you a little too young to have seen Bound?" And if you're my age, that joke is just on a totally other level. Bound came out in the mid-90s. One of the first movies that young boys my age, between 14, 16 years old, when we got our hands on the VHS copy of Bound, it was an experience. So really loved that line being thrown in here. Basically, Devin, now that his mom has passed, he basically tells Jake, "Look, we gotta break up. I have to go." But then he, being the podcaster, true crime detective, he goes to investigate Charles Lee Ray's house while Jennifer Tilly is out, and he finds Nika, tied up in the basement. Unfortunately, when he releases her, she, still possessed by Chucky, takes Devin hostage, and at the same time this is happening, Chucky has finally gotten his master manipulation to work. All the characters he's tried to get to kill for him, it finally pays off, where Junior snaps and uses Chucky as a weapon and smashes his father's head in. There's a great scene between Devon Sawa, I can't tell, it's Lucas and Logan. He played the twins, Lucas and Logan. I don't remember. I think Lucas is Junior's father. So you have Lucas, Junior, and Chucky, where it's this great scene where Junior's just holding Chucky out in front of him so that Chucky talks to Lucas, and Lucas is drunk, and it's this amazing scene, phenomenal scene that leads to Junior using Chucky, swinging him as hard as he can, and just busting his father's head wide open and killing him. And it's really funny, they do this great trick with the camera where as he's swinging Chucky like a weapon, you get a slow motion take of Chucky's face, like, whoa, like he's on a roller coaster, like he's on like an amusement park ride. Really great. And it's just things like that, like when Lucas goes into the bedroom and because he hears talking and he sees Junior sitting with the Chucky doll does the slow, full, neck turn, and it's genuinely a creepy moment. At the same time, we are getting Chicago 1988 flashbacks with young Chucky and young Tiffany. Again, the fact that Fiona Dourif is so good. Charlotte, who's actually sleeping right over there, Charlotte looked at Fiona Dourif playing Charles Lee Ray and was like, that looks exactly like Chucky from part 1. And I was like, yeah, it does. And she's seen it. She saw the original movie. She loves it. So she knows what Brad Dourif looked like in 1988. And she, when I paused it to tell her that's Brad Dourif's daughter just dressed up to look like him, her mind was blown. And unbelievable. It really phenomenal that they chose to do that. But we are getting these scenes, and we're getting into these scenes in the flashbacks where Chucky and Tiffany are starting to have, pardon the bad pun here, but they're starting to have a tiff. She's angry at him for killing without her because they kill together, and he was murdering somebody without her, and she got mad at him. And I'm kind of thinking that in the finale, they're in Chicago, it's 1988, maybe we're going to get a reenactment of the opening scene of the original film where Fiona Dourif's Charles Lee Ray ends up in the toy store after being chased by, the police officer played by the main character, Chris Sarandon, the cop Chris Sarandon, played in the original movie. Really, I really think that is something that might pop up in the next episode. Kind of hoping for it. And Kyle and Andy are still on the way. And there's a little hiccup in that because I think Andy, in an effort to, he feels, Alex Vincent, he feels that he needs to end this on his own. He, basically, they pull over to get gas. He gets in the driver's seat, locks Kyle out of the car, and drives off without her. So he arrives. So you have all of this convergence now. So you have Chucky, Nika Chucky has Devin. You have Jake and Lexi have another Chucky doll. You have another Chucky with Junior. You have Andy showing up. You have Kyle on the way. You have Tiffany running around. All of these factors are coming together, and they also have, because of the plot threads from Cult and Curse of Chucky, with basically Charles Lee Ray horcruxing himself into all the Chucky dolls. In the previews for next week's finale, you see like an army of Chucky dolls, and I'm so excited where this is going to go. I don't know how they're going to wrap this up in an hour-long episode, which, when it's an hour-long episode on TV, you're talking 40 to 45 minutes. I'm really hoping that we get a second season here, because I don't want them to rush this. It's so good, and Mancini is just carrying the plot threads from the films into the show. So it feels like we're watching more of the movies. It's a seamless transition from movie to TV series. Renew this, USA and SYFY. Renew this for a second season. I'm not even going to be mad next week if it ends on a cliffhanger, because quite frankly, like I just said, I don't know how they're going to tie all this up in just one more episode, unless it's like a 2-hour special finale, which I don't think it is. I think it's a regular final episode. End it on a cliffhanger, bring us back for season 2. I'm having a blast with this show, and I'm having a blast with these reviews. I'm going to wrap this one up. Pete and I just did an interview last night with Jordan Graham, the director of one of my favorite horror films of this year, Satyr, which is streaming now on Shudder. I just watched an amazing foreign horror film on Shudder from Thailand called The Medium. I'll be doing a short review of that later this week. Tomorrow night, I'm going to try to squeeze in the Jason episode of Behind the Monsters on Shudder, but it is the Wednesday before Thanksgiving, and I do have some plans tomorrow. But hey, the holidays are coming. We have a lot of cool stuff coming up for you very soon, and if we don't see you before then, have a great Thanksgiving. Tune in next week, USA and SYFY season finale of Chucky. I can't wait. It's been my favorite new show of 2021. So this has been Danny from The Last Cast. You have a great night.